Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. So over the last 2 days, I've been seeing a lot of best layout videos popping up left and right. And honestly, man, I used to do this a lot back when my restaurant was around, but I really told myself after the whole entire my restaurant phase kind of just like faded away that I would never go ahead and make another one of these best layout videos because in my honest opinion, I feel like there is no such thing as a best layout, just mainly because the game is evolving at all times. I mean, these Roblox games update every single week. And on top of that, every single minute of the day, there's people that are testing a bunch of different things, and honestly it's only a matter of time before that one person comes across something extremely overpowered and just completely wipes out everybody from the leaderboard. So because I've been seeing so many of these videos and I am currently the #1 player, I figured, you know what, I got every right to make one of these videos. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to go kind of like into the little details because there is a bunch of different factors that determines not only how many customers are coming in but also how much money you're going to be making hourly. I'll also kind of go ahead and explain how my layout evolved over time from the beginning, because every single time that you make a little bit of money, you definitely want to go ahead and increase the size of your layout. So we'll be going over all of those fine little details. But like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe and drop a like on the video if this does help you out. It does help my content get out there and I would appreciate it very, very much. Now, before I go ahead and step into my store to kind of show you guys everything, I do want to go ahead and show you guys the leaderboards so that way I kind of have them as reference, just in case if somebody in the future wants to see this video and I'm no longer #1. You can go ahead and see that at the time of this recording, I am currently in the lead for customers by roughly around 9,000. And then over here on the cash earned leaderboard, I'm also #1 with roughly around a 30 million cash lead. So let's go ahead now and teleport to my plot. As you can see, not a lot has changed here, but I do know that I went very quickly on showing you guys this in yesterday's video. So I'm going to kind of show you every single one of the things and where they're located, just in case if for some reason any of you do want to copy this. Personally, I always recommend people to go ahead and make their own layouts because for one, it's way more rewarding. And I mean, who knows, you might actually come out with something better that's going to just completely wipe all of us out like I was saying before. Now, the biggest change that I made from my video yesterday is that you'll notice none of my self-checkout registers are sturdy anymore. I've gone ahead and upgraded every single one of these to executive, and I'm sitting right now at 52 mil. So maybe throughout this video or later on when I am done recording, I will start my process on upgrading every single one of these to the gold version. In my video yesterday, I read a couple of comments of you guys telling me how I managed to get so many registers onto one floor, and to answer that question, there is exactly 64 registers here, which currently is the cap on how many you can have per floor. If you go ahead and notice, circling all around the area where I'm selling the computers, I have a total of 14 of the luxury or royal, whatever it is that these are called, registers going all the way around, which if we go ahead and teleport here to the mall, I will specifically show you which register that is, and it's the one in front of me being the cheapest one. The reason for this is actually extremely simple. These are extremely cheap and it is super easy to go ahead and level these up all the way to the max upgrade, which the max upgrade does have a 2-second timer. Personally, I feel like these are better than these over here because, well, I mean, it's actually pretty simple. These are 4,500 and these are 75. And the only way that these will ever be replaced is if I basically max out these, which just wouldn't make sense to me. The only register that I have completely different inside of here is probably this gold one that's right here in the front. And the only reason that it's there is because if you watch the very first video that I made on my store, I ended up buying the luxury bundle or pack. I don't exactly know what it's called for Robux. And this was given to me, which it has a 2-second timer, very similar to these that are located all around. I know a few of you were telling me in the comments that I should probably make a layout video very similar to how I used to do them on my restaurant. And that was basically by destroying the entire store and rebuilding it again with color coordinated tiles on the floor. So that way it was a lot easier for you guys to understand. The problem with that is that in my restaurant, I wasn't the #1 player. So any downtime kind of creates this gap where people are able to catch up to me. So I won't be able to do that. Even though realistically, I don't really care about leaderboards. I've never really been on any of the leaderboards, even in the previous games that I covered. So it's really not a big deal to me, but I'm obviously not going to go ahead and let anybody pass me the easy way. If you're going to pass me, you got to make sure you work for it. Speaking of that, it seems like Mr. Russo wants to take the #1 position. Personally, I would move out of the way for him, but we'll see. Maybe he doesn't even need that. Maybe he can just go ahead and wipe all of us out. No problem. I know for sure he can take the cash earned leaderboard. Honestly, I don't even look at this one too much, even though money leaderboards are usually the ones that I mainly focus on. But the one in this game, you could very easily enter into this by just spending Robux. So if I'm completely honest with you, I don't really really ever pay too much attention to this one. I like to look more at the customer one in this game, but in no way am I saying that you guys shouldn't be going after the money leaderboards. If you're on there, congratulations, you have definitely accomplished something, so don't feel bad that I just said that. But yeah, man, I'll go ahead and kind of walk around here slowly on my layout so you guys can pause the video and potentially copy it if that's what you want to do, even though I, again, don't really recommend for people to do that, because I mean, realistically, at the end of the day, I know that a lot of you just really want to be on the leaderboards and you guys inevitably want to pass me, and I love that. Now, as I was mentioning at the start of the video, I'm going to break it down to you guys on how and what my thought process was when I started this game, because obviously a lot of you that are getting started right now are not going to be able to go ahead and drop 64 registers. So let me break it down to you guys the easiest way possible. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, never upgrade any of your shelves. It's a waste of time. You don't need the capacity, and that is just simply not the meta in the game right now. Right now, the meta is to keep these in their first upgrade form. As for your registers on this side, these are the ones that you want to make sure that you spend all of your upgrades on, because it is extremely important. When I started off the game, I basically went ahead and grabbed obviously the cash registers that were cheap, and for every one shelf that I would buy, I would add a total of 3 registers inside of my store. Then after I made enough money to go ahead and purchase one of the fridge, I would buy one of the fridges, pick up one of the shelves, and leave it like that. You always want to make sure that you have your most expensive shelf down at your store, so that way your customers are going to it and picking it up and you're making the most amount of money. And that was basically the entire process that I had going on. I started off with these first 2 rows, the one closest to the door being where my shelves were, and then the one furthest away was actually where my registers were. And obviously, as I made more money, I started to expand further and further out until I reached to the point where I am today. Now, again, as I mentioned before, there is a lot of different factors that go into how much money you're going to make. So you definitely want to keep this in mind when you're watching a lot of these layout videos. For instance, in my example, I have a total of 30 of these glubs, which increases my chances of VIP customers coming in. Throughout this entire video, you've probably noticed that VIP customer coming into my store has popped up numerous times, and that is helping me get extra money. On top of that, I also have the most expensive theme in the game, being the futuristic theme, as you can see right here, which gives me a 20% more cash and 3 times more XP. Also, shout out to the devs for the YouTube theme. Super sick. It's kind of on the weak side, but definitely a really cool looking theme. But anyways, back to what we were talking about. Another thing that is also extremely important, which for some reason I never see anybody mention this in their videos, is make sure that you're upgrading your staff. This is going to help you out a tremendous amount. As you can see, the vast majority of my janitors are completely maxed out, and all of my other staff members are floating somewhere around the level 8 range. Some of them are even as high as level 12. So that's also a really important factor that you want to keep in mind. Also, before I forget, in my video yesterday, I did show you guys that in my second floor, I had a couple of registers here. I didn't even know that those were there. So by no means do I recommend that you guys add registers to multiple floors. I personally haven't seen much of an increase. And let me tell you, I have done plenty of testing for the last 2 days to the point where I've actually lost my mind. Every single one of my floors, except for my first floor, are completely empty. The only reason that I have them is basically so my janitors are working and they're making me lots of XP so I can level up really fast. Which actually, I just realized I don't even have floor number 8. Let me grab that really quick. But yeah, man, this is my layout for those of you that have been asking nonstop for me to go ahead and make a video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and you found it informative. Like I said before, if you did, make sure to drop a like on it. But that's pretty much going to go ahead and do it for today. Like always, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.